Immediately, William Ruto named Kindiki as the designated person to take over from the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. There was a vacancy that was left, and that is the vacancy in the position of Interior Security Ministry. That vacancy was left open, and it opened a chance for lobbying as different leaders now line up within the State House corridors to lobby for who to be given that position. High-profile security chiefs meeting was held last night, including the National Security Council, and amongst the issues that were debated was about the rushed swearing in of Kindiki and the replacement in that docket. Now the dilemma is emerging because when it was left vacant by elevation of Kindiki, at the center of it, William Ruto was wanted. William Ruto was wanted Ndindi Nyoro to take up that position after Ndindi Nyoro declined to take the DP slot. But he is a bit more lukewarm in taking over the cabinet position. I think he's remained a bit slippery throughout Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. When the motion was signed by 291 MPs, his signature was not there. Even when Parliament was debating and voting on Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, his signature was not there. Even when 236 MPs were voting to approve the vetting of the appointment of Kindiki, he also kept off those parliamentary sessions and has been minding his own business. But all that was pointing to him as one of the front runners that will be considered either for that position of the Deputy President or the position of Interior. Among other suggestion that has emerged is that of Kimani Chunga. I wish Kimani Chunga takes, it will really be interesting because he is the one that has been leading the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. And we want to see if he benefits because that probably there were interests involved in it. And Ndindi Nyoro is a bit lukewarm in taking over that position. But as that lobbying also is on that end, Raila Odinga camp are also said to be eyeing a piece of that cake as part of the kickback for leading Rigathi Gachagua removal. It is not a secret. Rigathi Gachagua was removed by ODM and UDA. And without any of the two, Rigathi wouldn't have been removed. I think Ruto would have removed Rigathi by, even sometime last year. But that could not be actualized because there were no numbers. So ODM was brought. It brought the numbers. Then when William Ruto got the numbers, they successfully impeached the deputy. Why would Ruto want Nyoro? Nyoro would be a card for President Ruto so that he can pacify Murang'a. Of those Mount Kenya counties apart from Nyeri, Murang'a is another place where he's been facing stiff rebellion. The Senate of Murang'a voted against it, and even at the members of the parliament, in the National Assembly, quite a significant number of MPs from Murang'a did not support Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. And number two, Ndindi Nyoro will be set up there as part of campaign machinery in Mount Kenya and even in the 2027 contest. So those to me were some two objectives that would have been there. But I think I want to look at when Nyoro must avoid that temptation. I think I should look at that before I make that explanation I wanted to make. The security docket operates the fifth dark state of any government. The abductions, disappearances, this and that, all those fall under that docket. And remember, even if Kindiki is being elevated to the deputy president, he's leaving that docket with hands stained with blood. Tomorrow on Sunday, the different stakeholders are organizing some tree planting to mourn the 61 heroes who died during the Gen Z protest. So, and Kindiki was in that docket. Now, if you take such a docket, and I think we analyzed and we said it's a destroying one. It's not very easy to elevate from a interior docket to go to presidency because you always have blood stained. Then, at this time, Kindiki must, Ndindi Nyoro must also be careful in taking such a position because Ruto is policing the country. He's leading the country by the police. There are a lot of instances that are being said. Now, there are other reports that that taking that position to Raila access will create a rivalry, and there is an option of opting for a Kalenjin to take up. Look at the status quo was both the deputy and that docket were from Mount Kenya. So there is the pressure to take it back. And if you've denied Nyeri the DP slot, then they need to take that slot. We are going to analyze more about that. The other factor who was also mentioned is Aden Duale. William Ruto need one of the most trusted allies. He comes from the northeastern part, but again, another box is both the NIS and that docket come from, quite a number of NIS, DCI, then Interior, come from the northeastern part. So there are some reservations with the odd ethnic alignments in that. But again, he's also one of the people in line. However, what are the stakes? I want to look at those stakes, but just allow me take a minute and veer off kidogo some observation that it's been running in my mind. I wanted to explain it earlier, but I think I missed it. I made some observation. Cherargei was a mole in Rigathi Gachagwa's camp. Cherargei was William Ruto's mole in Rigathi Gachagwa's camp. Why? You know, he made presentations to be supporting Rigathi Gachagua in Senate. But when it came to voting, he voted against Rigathi Gachagua. Yes. He voted against Rigathi Gachagua. Sent to the National Assembly, Mary Wamaua and Edward Muriu, Mary Wamaua, the Maraga Member of Parliament, and Edward Muriu, Gatanga Member of Parliament, they were all supporting Rigathi. But at the hour of need, they voted against Rigathi Gachagua. So sometimes in politics, we should be very careful to know who is my enemy and who is not my enemy. Now, I want to explain the stakes and what is causing the issue, or rather the conflict of, not the conflict, what is causing the stakes in that appointment on who takes over the next interior docket. Now, the first one is the Nyeri factor. The truth of the matter here is Nyeri is angry. Fact that they had a deputy president. Now that deputy president slot has been taken from them. During Kibaki era, Kibaki was the president from Nyeri. During Uhuru Kenyatta era, Uhuru was Kiambu, but they had cabinet slots, quite a significant number, from Nyeri. During Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto era, now they had a deputy president in Rigathi Gachagua. During Uhuru era, they had Mutai Kagwe and Joe Musheru. All were coming from Nyeri. If you forget about the transport PS Kamau Pia, coming from Nyeri. So, they've been part of the political equation. So what Ruto needs to, now is thinking is, the police IG comes from Nyeri also. But that is not a factor to hinder anything. The Nyeri factor over Rigathi is a critical issue for the president, because at one point or the other, you need also to pacify. If you've taken this, you need to take that. And if Rigathi will be able to, if Nyeri takes angry now, dislikes William Ruto, they will also have realized that I don't have anything, they cannot give me anything, then take up that position elsewhere. Probably Nyandarua or Laikipia. So the Nyeri factor is in that stake. If you take the deputy president slot, then the issue is the direction of the country, the dictatorial direction after Gen Z protest. After Gen Z protest, William Ruto changed. And just like what we said after Moi's coup d'etat in 1982, Moi changed. Now, William Ruto took a very significant direction. There have been some stories about what happened later. There is some dictatorial direction. And now, moving forward to 2027, he will be tempted to pick tribesmen in that docket, something that he said was not a priority at the start. And that is why Boynet has highly been linked to that job of interior. I saw a lie saying Boynet should be given, that position will not be taken to Mount Kenya. He will actually take that position not from, he will actually snatch it from Mount Kenya and take it to the Rift. That's another option. And lastly, I think the broad-based government factor. You know, Ruto is breaking ties with Mount Kenya slowly. So he has to strengthen his bond with the broad-based brothers. Thank you, guys. That is my take, but I still believe that Ndindi Nyoro should just keep off that position because it's not one of the most, it's very lucrative, but in terms of progressive politics, it's not one of the best. Thank you.